Hey, welcome to the Danger Zone. It's Ashley. Everything in this video is found on a public domain and the full disclaimers down below. I urge everybody to do their own research. I'm just trying to bring a little entertainment your way. I wish you lots of love and many blessings, and a special thank you to Sweet Mary P. I appreciate you so much. Meghan's snazzy new PR company called up CNN asking if they would have an availability for her to weasel in and give a little bit of a thank you in her own way to the heroes on CNN. Just as she imposed on the Vancouver Island's women's shelter, and just as she imposed on her former school's graduating class. Nobody extended this invite to Meghan. This was her idea to go knocking on doors. Cold calls, as she likes to call them. I'm curious, do you think there's any major universities or even like community colleges out there that are willing to give classes on the psyche of Meghan Markle? I would totally sign up. I just don't understand any of this. It's almost like it is like she sits back and she watches what works for other people, whether they say it, they write it, they cry about it, or they dress in it. Their style. She watches what works for others, and then she goes ahead and hijacks it, takes it on as her own. None of this makes sense. It's a huge problem. Something's just not mentally stable, in my opinion. She is in such a deep competition, so it seems, with Catherine. She doesn't know how to be herself, and she has to be in misery. I couldn't live this way. Anyway, the same time period that her essay had been released, the one on the stigmatized miscarriage, Catherine's blouse, made by Gucci, was trending everywhere on all social media platforms. Her blouse. It was a beautiful blouse, I give it credit. But dang, why does Meghan have to take it and make it her own? Meghan comes out clearly tweaked with a few updates. I'm not going to say improvements, because I think she's kind of going overboard at this point. Now, it's just my own opinion, but I believe she's had a chin implant. Her face looks a lot longer than it typically does. There's always a mind game to what she's doing. She and Harry both, they're always involved in these games. They've always said Meghan is very vain. She's very much a perfectionist when it comes to her looks. Typically, women that are pregnant do not use chemicals in their hair. And I noticed in the part of her bangs, from the scalp, a couple inches down, that is completely curly. It's not straight like the rest of her hair. So is this another mind game? Is this another game by Harry and Meghan to give off that she's pregnant? I don't buy it. I didn't buy it the first time. If they were going to play the game, they should have really played the game. No chemicals, no enhancements to the face. You guys, do you think she's bleaching her skin? That's weird. It's almost like she's stuck between a Kim Kardashian, Stacey Dash look. But that's neither here or there. Let's talk about what she said. It really bothered me.
Universally challenging for everyone.
She is not including herself and Harry in this challenging year, I know. They've prospered by 120 million plus. Remember.
I'm inspired by the stories of compassion in our communities. Across the country, people have put their own needs aside to come together and support the collective well-being of those around them. Back in March, the COVID-19 crisis hit hard, and overnight, everything seemed to change. For many families, the impact of the pandemic has been catastrophic, and far too many were faced with a heartbreaking question. How am I going to put food on the table for my family? But in the face of this devastating reality, we also saw the power of the human spirit and the remarkable ways that communities respond in challenging times.
Not all of us live in a Montecito bubble.
We saw the good in people, in our neighbors, and in entire communities coming together to say they would not stand by while our neighbors went hungry. We saw communities standing up and taking action. When kids' lunch programs came to a halt, we saw our neighbors make sure that those children received the nutrition they need. And when those who are immunocompromised or most vulnerable couldn't leave their homes, we, as a community, showed up to deliver the food they needed to their doorsteps.
Talking about going around, passing out food, being on the front lines for all these hungry people, yet her dad, just a couple of years ago, was so broke he was eating hot dogs from the gas station. Oh my. Meghan, go drop him some food off.
We know the value of food as nourishment.
Now that's the part where it became really clear to me that this was nothing more than a shameful plug for the company she just invested in.
As a life source. And in moments of crisis, the warmth of a meal can feel as comforting as a much-needed hug.
Is she in a studio or is she really outside? I can't figure it out, but I see the lights in her eyes.
Especially in the absence of human contact due to the social distancing we're all experiencing.
Watch her head shake no when she's trying to say that. She has no social distancing in her life. She just left her good friend Oprah's house.
These moments reminded so many that they're cared for. Tonight we are celebrating these quiet heroes, some of whom I know, and others that we applaud from afar. These individuals stood up and made sure the most basic needs of our communities were met. They made sure that those around them did not have to suffer in isolation. They nourished their neighbors.
Bingo. We nourished our neighbors in more ways than one. I'm telling you guys, this is nothing but a plug. Watch, just watch.
More ways than one. And they showed us, all of us, that even in the darkest times, when we come together, we have the power to remind someone else that there is hope, and that we will be okay.
And as soon as that hit on CNN, here's Oprah. She bounces back. She gets on Instagram. She talks about her neighbor, M, with the crown emoji next to it, wink, wink, bringing her a gift basket filled with decorations and several bags of her favorite new latte. This is filled with nourishment, and it'll give you energy, and it's turmeric, and it's oatmeal water, and this, that, and the other. And, here's Meghan has just invested in this. And Oprah is plugging it to 19 million of her followers for Meghan. Just as soon as Meghan is finished talking about people needing nourishment, the value of food, and how a good meal is equal to a warm hug, a warm mug, you know what I'm saying? It was nothing more than a business plug for Meghan. She means to make that money. Meghan's excuse for investing in this company was it was small, ran predominantly by women, and that's just not the case. It has grown 100% since it started. There's been no decline in this company, and it's ran by a man and a woman. And just checking through the backgrounds of these people involved in this business, just a glance, nothing extensive, I found they are affiliated in all sorts of really strange things. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So Meghan decided she wanted to invest in this company. All the while, those around her that are outside of her bubble are losing their homes. They've lost their jobs. They and their children are scrounging for food from their tent, on Skid Row, in parks, under dugouts. They are hurting in the state of California more today than ever in the years past. And to add insult to injury, there's more stray animals due to the fact that these families couldn't afford to keep their pets. They had to turn them loose. Could you imagine? So this holiday season, while these families are in a tent or worse, in the middle of a public park, or worse, hungry, trying to do the best they can this year, there's going to be Meghan sitting with Oprah sipping shroom tea. It just really doesn't seem right. And it proves who she is. If that's the best she could do with her money, piss off. I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you soon and we'll talk fast. Please stay safe and be blessed. Hey, if you're still here, I'm going to update the terms of the giveaway. I'll have Google generate 3 numbers, and I'll match those numbers up to the comments under this video. And those 3 people will win, and I'll do it in order. So first, second, and third. Good luck. I hope you win. Everything is the same, just a different area.